No, I love Norway. Everybody arrives just on time. It's amazing. I don't have to wait. You guys are so... You stop in the sidewalk and the pedestrians can walk. Nobody's trying to kill each other. Nobody's in a rush. I like that. So, my name is Maor. I am a teacher of manifestation and the breatharian. Through my breatharian process, I actually learned about our true abilities, how we can change our mind, our belief system, and our emotional state in order to get what we call the law of attraction. But the law of attraction has many different variations, and we really need to understand and comprehend many different things about who and what we truly are in order to use all these different tools. Usually when I begin this type of lecture, I tell you about a small story that the Zen master told his pupils. He was standing in front of his pupils and he asked them, us in the Zen mastery, we do not like to interfere. If you see, I'm giving you a riddle. If you see a woman that is about to be raped in the end of the street, so what do? Do you choose to interfere and say that you do not believe in the perfection of life and this is her karma? Or do you interfere? Do you approach? Do you try to hit the other guy or protect her in some way? So his students thought, and all of you can also have one of your answers. Some of you are going to say, of course we're going to interfere. This is not possible, I'm here for that. And the other ones will understand that this is the way of the discipline, to understand that we are detached from the world and we can observe it. The true answer, the Zen master said, is that this will not happen to me. And the message is, we are the ones that are manifesting our reality at any given moment. Whether we are doing it as conscious or non-conscious people, aware or not aware, we're manifesting our beliefs, we are broadcasting what we think to the future, and that will eventually come back to us. Okay? Because physical reality is just like a mirror. And I use this, I'm actually using somebody else's words. It means that when you look in the mirror and you have a frown, meaning a sad face on it, the mirror is always going to reflect back to you this sad face. But if you are smiling in the mirror, eventually the mirror has no other choice but to return your smile. And this is not just the karma game. We're talking about the way that we feel towards things. For example, a person that always thinks that just before the winter time is going to get this one-time flu, this a few days, because we always get that, this is our belief system, this is what's going to happen. And if that person can reach a mental attitude that he doesn't need to get this flu anymore, that his body is strong enough, or understand how much control he has over his body, he can tell his body, I don't believe that you need to get this. I don't need this, okay? Some of us work so hard that only in the weekends we get sick because our work is so important for us. But how much control do we have over our body? How much? For example, you have that time, again, there's a lot of women here. This is such a feminine, amazing, wow. This feeling that you have to pee. You're really close to the house, you stop the car already, and you're going, and the faster you walk, the more you need to pee, and you open up the lock, and everything's falling, and you go to the toilet, and it's so good. I'm doing it because there's a majority of feminine here, so I'm doing this. What will happen if you go to the house 10 minutes after? Would your bladder explode? No. It's all in the head. And how many of us wake up just 2 minutes before the alarm clock? Just 2 minutes. Why? Because our head knows the time. Our body is a genius, okay? It's much smarter than we are. So who am I? I was here for a few days now. I gave lectures about breatharianism. Today it's about manifestation. I'm the author of A Year Without Food. This book. Can I just move this a little bit? Yeah, of course. Do as you will. I'm inventor of the workshop, the 10-day process for inner mastery. In this workshop we work on the 4 bodies, but today is a lecture about the mental body, meaning changing our thoughts, understanding our belief systems, being able to look at things from outside of the ego or the mind structure in order to see what habits we have. Sometimes we have addictions, sometimes we are addicted to our mental state. And when we are able to look at it from the side, observe it, then we are able to make different conclusions and are able to move on in this game. learn whatever it is you came to learn from this specific lesson, and move on. That's the whole point of life. In my other life, I put here a little Batman, so you'll understand that I'm living two lives. I'm a computer programmer, a normal person. I have a degree. I was 5 years in the military. I finished a lieutenant. In Israel, there's 3 years mandatory service. And I'm an artist. So why? Why do we want to be manifestors? First thing, it's self-awareness. When we're playing this game of self-awareness, we want to be more conscious of everything. In the day-to-day life, we are always struggling with work and no time, and we don't really have time to be ourselves, and that is the only time that we are spiritually growing. You can imagine a street in New York where you always see everybody's walking, everybody's so serious, everybody's so busy. And so from time to time, we need to take a breath and remember who we are. And when I say who we are, I'm not talking about the reflection that I see in the mirror. I'm talking about this inner sparkle of divinity, the one that is really connected to his higher self, the one that is self-conscious, and self-conscious about our thoughts, about our emotions, about our human experience. And all of those things together is really who we really are, because we are, frankly, just a very, very small part. We are like the glacier, really big underneath, and all you see is this little consciousness above, this little ego that thinks that he knows everything and he deserves everything. It brings you happiness, it brings you financial independence, it brings you relationships. You can build these imaginations, these visualizations. You can start believing, and we will discuss about the different states of believing, and understand reality better, which is a part of what we're doing here. The present moment. So, they say that our soul exists in one continuous present moment. It is only the illusion of the ego that always wants to look forward or back. And when I say forward, I can also mean I need to go to the toilet in a minute. And I'm thinking about that, and I'm not here right now. Because this moment is the only moment that I'm actually feeling. When I'm thinking about the future, usually, by the way, 90% of the things we think about the future is fears. We think that we're not going to get what we want. We're afraid of the meeting tomorrow. We have all these fears that we are actually building expectations for, and that is what sometimes the future will bring us. So someone that is living in constant fear, eventually he will get all these fears manifested for him. And the past, we always analyze the past, the mistakes we made in the past, who we were in the past, why we don't believe in ourselves because it didn't work before. And if we would start looking at life as life begins right now, completely new, a blank sheet. Everything we used to be and used to do is not who we are defined right now, because the person changes all the time. And we have to put these things aside. Some of us just don't believe in ourselves. And we are really, in our heart, we are all beautiful diamonds. And it takes many, many years for the diamond to go through social standards, and we are taught lies eventually when we grow up. Be nice to your auntie, she gave you a wonderful gift, but I don't like it, mommy, you have to lie. And all these things, it's not always our fault, but as grown-ups, we learn how to reveal that. We can peel ourselves like an onion and rediscover this amazing diamond that is inside. And when we understand who we truly are and connect to ourselves, then we begin being even higher manifestors. Because we understand that if we believe in goodness, optimism, we start seeing that it comes back to us. When we are completely letting go of who we think we are, and we are beginning to be who we truly are. Because it is like, before we were born, our entity, our soul, has chosen to be who we are. This body, this temporary thing, this tool, this vessel. He chose the character, he chose the main points in this life, and everything else is the free will. But the more we connect with the soul's intention path, because the future can be in different paths, everything will be much more easy. And that is because we have to let go. Letting go. How many times did it happen that we thought about something, and we thought about it so much, and it troubles us, and it bothers us, and we're always thinking about it, and we're sometimes doing it for weeks. Oh my God, we lost a job. Oh my God, we lost our boyfriend. Or oh my God, we lost everything, and we're eating ourselves. And then one day we decide to stop thinking about it and embrace everything as it comes, and we see that a solution comes just like that. How many times did we go to sleep with a problem in our head and woke up with a solution? It is our higher consciousness, the subconsciousness, that is always connected and always thinking about us. But you can think about it just like a small angel sitting on your left shoulder. It's speaking to us all the time, and we just need to open our eyes and listen. Okay? I heard if you hear it twice in the same week about a certain book, go read it. It's a sign. Believe that you always meet the right people for the right purpose, and you will meet them. They will come. So the soul's path, what I was discussing, it is the path of least resistance. You will see that you just need to let go and let things happen by themselves. Because it is us that think that we can influence life, and we try to grab it, and we say, I don't understand, I don't have any control. Let go. And you will see that you are being guided by your higher self. You will see that everything is working out for the best. And the path of least resistance, it's just like a wood piece that is stuck in a river. It just flows. And you see that you will flow in the right way. Now, sometimes we have people that are like clouds, only when they disappear the sun comes out. These people are in our lives. Sometimes it's our parents, sometimes it's people that are very, very close to us. And we are still hanging on to them, even though that they don't accept us as we are. Even friends that we think we have from childhood, that maybe we should just, that separate a little bit, because everything has been changing. The earth has been getting a lot of new energy since 2012, and there's a shift every few months now. And the vibration of some people is no longer equivalent to your vibration, and it's time to let go. Now, some people think relationships need to last for years. That's not necessarily true. A lot of people should step out of the relationship because they already feel that it's finished a long time ago. The lesson has been learned, the contract has been sealed a long time ago. There's nothing more we can learn from them. So it's time to separate, and you will see that everything, once you go in the path of least resistance and you let go, you will see that things are starting to organize by themselves. And once again, this is a belief. And when you start believing in that, it will actually start to manifest. This belief, you don't have to make a 180-degree turn. It can start from small things. It can start from every morning when you wake up, and this is a great exercise, by the way. We'll discuss it more tomorrow evening in the workshop. Before your legs touch the ground, you tell yourself, I know I'm going to have a great day. I know. Not I want, not I should, because all of these things are actually telling the universe, the world, the everything, the ether, that you have a doubt. No, I know. And just saying that to yourself already makes it a beautiful day. A lot of your women, I don't know, sometimes the hair doesn't go good in the day and then it ruins the whole day, right? But sometimes you wake up in the morning and say, oh my God, I'm so beautiful today. This day is going to be amazing. So why don't we say that anyway? And you will see that it happens exactly in that order. So there's many paths to choose from. We are like a television set. We are accepting, receiving a lot of different channels, but we are usually only showing one. We are always accepting and receiving all these channels. And you have to retune yourself and align yourself with your thoughts. Your thoughts are frequency, just like the vibration of everything else. And it means that when you think in a certain way, whatever it is that you want, it can be anything. It can be a certain type of relationship. It can be a certain type of job. I made a list in my breatharian process. And during that time, I was three weeks by myself, secluded, and I was really, really high. It's a fast. It's a really long fast. And once you read that list, you believe it. Because after 7 days without food and water, that science said you're supposed to die, you start believing that everything is pretty much possible. And like the inner child wakes up, and children believe anything. You tell them, and when they're a cowboy, they're a cowboy in that minute. And we grown-ups, we think it's a lie, we think it's an illusion. They are vibrating in that thought. So imagine like that, and try to see yourself as a television set, and tune yourself to the type of channel that you would like to see. The process of surrender is one that is hard to let go of, because sometimes, especially for guys, we think that we are letting go of control, but we are receiving a lot more. It is like in the great religions, everybody just bows in front of some great God. And here we're not bowing in front of everybody. We're just saying, I know that there is something that is higher than me, that is more intelligent than me, that is guiding me. I know I'm a part of it, or it is a part of me. I know it's really connected to me. And in the spiritual realm, we know that there's the higher self, there's the spiritual guides, and there's a lot of different energy forms. But we have to connect with our higher self first. Once we understand that we are being guided, we start listening to the intuition. How many times did it happen that you felt not good towards something, and retroactively you said, I knew it? Why don't you listen to your intuition? Your intuition is always right. You knew it about a guy, or the few men that are here, you knew it about a certain girl, that something is not good. Something doesn't smell good with this job. Something doesn't smell good with this present, So follow it, listen to it. It always talks to us. I want to introduce Bashar. I don't know if you guys know him. He's a channeler from the States. We'll listen to a few minutes of him and then we'll analyze what he said. He speaks a little fast. Wait, I need to make sure that the... This is connected. It is.
Also, it's an understanding that physical reality is really just a mirror, and it can only reflect what you put out. There are really only 4 laws in creation that allow you to experience everything that you experience. Law number 1 is that you exist. Can't do much about that. Now, when we talk, first of all, about laws, we're not talking about the type of laws that you have on your planet that are, in that sense, arbitrary rules and regulations that can be broken, or changed, or rewritten, or ignored. But the idea is even beyond what many of you call laws of physics, because even some of these are only germane to your particular universal reality, and in other dimensions, many of the so-called laws that you have labeled do not really apply. We are talking about real laws, because real laws cannot be broken. Cannot be broken. It is impossible. And it is these 4 laws that give structure to all of creation. So, as we have said, law number 1, you exist. And what that actually means, when taken out to its ultimate logical understanding, is that if you exist now, you always will. And you always have. Therefore, you may change form, but you will always exist in some way, shape, or form. Because isness is the only quality that existence has. It does not know how to become non-existence. Non-existence is already full of all the things that will never exist, and there is no room in non-existence for that which does exist. That which exists only has one quality, to be. And thus, that is the only thing it will always be. So if you do exist, you always will. So, relax. Law number 2. The one is the all, and the all are the one. And this simply means that all of the pieces together form the one. And the one is the one, but knows itself simultaneously as all the pieces. What this means is that creation is not separate from the Creator, but is made of the Creator, and that there is no outside to it. Everything that is, every discrete person, place, thing, every discrete concept, every discrete part is a part of one same whole, and also, holographically, every single part is the whole, expressing itself as a part of the whole. So the second law, the one is all, the all are one. Law 3, what you put out is what you get back. Very simple. The energy you give off, based on your beliefs, your emotions, your behaviors, the vibrational frequency you give off is what determines the kind of reality experience you have. Because physical reality doesn't exist except as a reflection of what you strongly believe is true for you. That is all physical reality is. It is literally like a mirror. If you are looking in a mirror and you see your face with a frown on it, you know that you don't go over to the mirror and try to force the reflection to smile. You know that if you want to see the reflection smile, you must smile first. There is no way to change the reflection. without you smiling first. But you can also conversely understand that when you decide to smile, the reflection has no choice but to return the smile, because it doesn't have a mind of its own. So the idea to understand is that physical reality very much is really like a mirror. It will not change until you do first. But if you do, it has no choice but to follow suit, because it is only a reflection of what you have put out. Law number 4. Change is the only constant, and everything changes except the first 3 laws. That is it. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Every experience you have ever had, are having now, or will ever have, is based on a combination of these 4 laws to varying degrees. That's it. Now, the idea to understand, again, is that when you allow yourself to make choices, then your choices are based on your motivation. And your motivation is based on your definitions. This is the other way to explain the 3-part process. Your behavior, your choices, are based on your motivations, your emotions, which stem from your definitions, which are your beliefs. So anytime you are making a choice, it is always because you have been motivated to make that choice. Motivation only has 2 parts to it. This is all there is to motivation. You will always, in every single case, you will always choose what you perceive to be the choice that is closest to pleasure and furthest from pain. That's it. That is your entire motivational force. But notice I said you will choose what you perceive to be closest to pleasure and furthest from pain. And that's where definitions come in. Because only as you define what you believe to be pleasurable or painful will you then be motivated to make choices in accordance to that belief. So many times you may choose things that on one level you could say seem to be detrimental or destructive to you. But if you keep choosing it, that simply means that you must have a definition in your belief system somewhere that says that regardless of how painful it is to keep choosing that, you are somehow defining it as being less painful than making any other choice.
We don't have time to see the whole movie, but I hope you understand how intelligent this guy is. So, the 4 laws. The one is that you exist. You know, some people believe in reincarnation, some people don't. Some people think that we disappear. Whatever your belief system is, we actually are like the water on the planet. We always change, but we're still always the same amount of water on the planet. Some goat somewhere ate an apple, then he peed, and then the grass grew from it, and then the grass died, and then the water vaporized and moved to the other side of the planet, and somewhere someone drank it. So the water is always changing. So is our energy, so is us. The second, the one is the all and the all is the one. This is a hard concept for people to understand. And why is that? Imagine one cell in our body has the DNA, and this DNA has the information of how to create the entire body. The same thing with a seed, a tree seed. It has the small amount, and it has all the information of how to build the entire tree. So each one of us is actually a reflection of everything else. We're a reflection of each other. When we come to enough understanding spiritually, we understand that these words that we say that all is one is actually all is one. We are God in His existence. We are experiencing Godhood through each other because we are the one in His one path. But everyone has a different set of eyes. Everyone sees from a different set of eyes, but we are still the same entity. Karma, what we explained twice, I repeated it in order for you to really, like I'm trying to put things into your subconscious. This mirror reflection thing. That whatever you think, whatever you feel, it is actually a combination of our thoughts and our emotions. The 3 lower chakras are responsible for our emotional. And the 3 higher are our thoughts, our mental, our connection to the higher. And the heart chakra in the middle is the one that broadcasts it. They measure and they say that the heart has an electromagnetic field that is 10,000 stronger than our brain. And our heart is not just the one that we always talk about, like it's the emotional. Other people think about it as an organ, but we always say our heart, you know? We always feel. And in NLP, for example, you learn that when somebody is feeling, he's looking towards down, towards his heart. When he's thinking, he's looking towards up, either memory or imagination, if he's lying. And it's really interesting to see this. I'm not sure we have time for this exercise. It's a really good exercise, but tomorrow evening we will do it, because I think today is only about me speaking. If we start talking and making an exercise, it's just not going to have enough time. Sorry, 50 minutes is just not enough. Subconscious programming. So, like I said, it's like a glacier. This is like the conscious mind. This is what we think we are. This is what we think we know. And everything else is happening here. So, for example, when we want to plant seeds of happiness, there are certain times we can do it. Before we go to bed, about 10 minutes before, sleeping is actually the time that the conscious mind is syncing and linking with the unconscious mind. This is why sometimes we have all these answers that we get during our sleep. So sleeping is not just about the physical body rebuilding itself, rebuilding the muscles, but it's actually about analyzing the whole day, putting things from the short-term memory to the long-term memory, and also syncing between the unconscious and the conscious mind. So 10 minutes before we go to sleep, when we're a little bit tired, is the great time to give ourselves mantras, to tell ourselves the things of how we want things to be. And it's really important the words we choose. For example, it's better to talk in present form and in the positive. So if I was a shrink and I would go to a prison and I would treat somebody, I wouldn't tell him you are not a criminal. I wouldn't tell him you're not a rapist or you're not a murderer. I would tell him you are a good person. You have revived your old sins. You are a better person than you used to be. You have a better life. And we always talk in the positive. So for example, if I would want to subconsciously reprogram myself to lose weight, I would not say I'm not fat. I would say I'm fit. I would say I feel good with myself. I say my body is exactly ideal way that it's supposed to be. And we always talk in the present, because if I go back to the previous slides, you will understand that the soul, the subconscious, only knows present form. It only lives in the present. Everything else that is the future or in the past, it's a type of the illusion that we live in. And we all live in it when our legs are deep inside this. We think it exists, but we only feel in the now. We only exist in the now. So the subconscious has a lot of good attributes that we can use for ourselves. Memories without time. Sometimes we see things that are about to happen, sometimes we remember things that are used to happen. It does not filter instructions like the mind or the memory does. This is why a lot of spiritual teachers, they always talk in riddles, they talk in tales, they talk in stories, because the subconscious mind, it works with all these objects. It doesn't work only with words. Words is a type of our world, because we didn't used to think in words until we learned the language. And then it really, really minimized our ability to think abstractively. And it also minimized the time that we take to think. Because even when we think inside our head, we are still thinking with words. We do not know how to express ourselves with thoughts like we used to when we were really, really young. It requires repetition until total acceptance. So sometimes you see in these American movies, you see they put a tape and they say, oh, I'm a winner, I'm going to succeed, I'm happy. And if you do it enough times, you will see that it is actually helping. Some people put a headset and they listen to this all night. And some people just have this attitude. Because in manifestation, we have to understand that we need to repeat what we think is going to happen, how we want it to happen. This is abundance. Abundance is not just how much money I have in my wallet. It is the ability to do whatever I want, whenever I want, with whoever I want, and in the way I want to do it. And money is just a tool to get there. Everybody thinks that I have more money, I'll be happier, and I have this whole lecture just on money to show people that the richer you get, the more percentages that you're going to commit suicide. Because you have no more expectations, you have less things to look up to. So the subconscious does not recognize negativity, meaning you do not use the word no. It's like taking the subject, like the example I gave before, I am not fat, the subject is the fat. I am fit, the subject is the fit. So it is going to remember the subject and not the not in the subject. Does not draw reality from imagination. And this is really beautiful, because here and in tomorrow's workshop we're going to use visualizations. This is why in the law of one and the law of attraction, we always use visualizations. Try to visualize what it is that you want. Detail it. Ask yourself all these little questions about it. know how you are going to interact with this thing. How are you going to feel when this thing is going to happen to you? How are you going to feel when you find the perfect partner? How are you going to see or work with your new colleagues in the job that you would enjoy? When you try to visualize it, you're actually adding more and more energy to this thing that is going to manifest. You're adding more detail. And you will see when you're starting to manifest more and more, it's really important to give details. Because sometimes you get what you want, but you didn't define it in the right way. Really. I'll give you an example for the subconscious. How many times I have? We're good. So this doctor made an experiment. It comes in different forms, this experiment, by the way. Yesterday in yoga class he talked about it. And he said to himself, I'm going to split the class to two groups. One, and the whole experiment is about going in some sort of a village for a few hours, and in the end, writing what we think about this place, about this town. Okay? One group, he said, I want you to catch, you're going to walk a few hours with this pen in your mouth. One group, you're going to put the pen between the teeth like this. You see? The other group, he said, I want you to take the pen, but put it between your lips only, like this. Now what happened is that the first group actually had about 20-30% better comments about the town. They said the people here are nicer, the food is lovely, we saw a movie, it was amazing. And the other group was like, yeah, the weather's not so good, and we didn't really enjoy the people, they're not really hospitable. And why is that? Because when we walk around with a smile, like this, we have all these associations of happiness. And everything our brain remembers, it has this memory, this cycle of axons touching each other. And when we smile, other people also smile. They are forced to, because you're such a lovely person, I'm going to be polite. And then they smile and they feel better, and their energy makes you smile even more. Whoopsie. Funny. And another example that we can use, if I will tell you now, you close your eyes. Close your eyes, work with me. And I want you to tell yourself that your hands are getting warm. Your hands are getting warmer. Your hands are getting warmer. You feel a sensation of tingling in your hands. Your hands are getting even warmer. My hands are warm. My hands are really warm. What is this sensation I feel in my hands? And the more I say it, the more I feel it, the more I'm aware of it. And I feel this little tingling. You can open your eyes. Who didn't feel anything at all in their hands? Nobody raised their hand, that's nice. Because energy flows where attention goes. And we have all these receptors in our body all the time. But when we put our attention into something, we suddenly feel that there's energy moving towards that. And energy is an abstract, They use the word energy because we don't have specific words. Sometimes we use prana, sometimes we use chi. And this is also something that we tell our subconscious. Once we put the little seeds of love, happiness, optimism inside of that, it has no other option than to grow. When we feed it enough times, when we visualize it, when we are becoming optimistic, then life will return this optimism to us. Another example of the subconscious is a guy that I knew. He had a difficulty with life. He just didn't enjoy life. He said, I'm always depressed. And when the doctor, his advice to him was, okay, our treatment is going to be really simple. You're going to walk every day for an hour, and you're going to count ravens. Okay? In that town, there's a lot of ravens. It's a specific type of bird. The guy said, okay, I don't really understand why, but okay. So he went every day, and he was counting for an hour. And after about a week, he came back and he said, you know something? I really feel much better. What does counting ravens do? And then the doctor said, it's nothing. It is about the position that you walk. A proud person, a happy person, will walk with his chest up, and hardly any of us actually look at the sky. And a person that is depressed and is in negative form, he will look down, he will feel bad, he will close up, he will also breathe less good, because when we close up, we don't get as much oxygen, and oxygen is one of the sources of life. And this is just to show you that how many things we can do with the subconscious, but we do it unconsciously. And the whole purpose, this awakening thing that we're doing in humanity, is about us understanding who we are, understanding the human form, connecting to our higher self, being more aware. You don't have to be a yogi somewhere in India. We can do it here. And you people are already in a very, very high place. You don't have any physical desires and needs. You have a roof, you have food, you have a job, you have people in your life that love you. You love them also. You're in a place that you're in a spiritual seekers. You want more. You want to understand who you are more. And this is what we're doing here. This is what we're doing in these 3 days. This is what we're doing in life in general. Practical tools. Auto-suggestion, self-belief, positive brainwashing, reminders, mantras. We can make lists of whatever it is that we want. And it's really important to make the list. Make a list of the perfect spouse. Make the list of the perfect job. Then say it, but make the list in positive form. It's very important, positive and in the present. As if I already have it. Not I want to have it, not it will come to me sometime in the future, but I already have it. This way the brain makes the same thought vibration and it attracts it. Another way of looking at it is to understand that the things that we want to attract also want to attract us. And imagine that there's a window, and all we have to do is open this window. And I'm saying what Bashar says even better than me. And the same thing about the things that we don't want anymore in our life. We have chains on our legs, and we need to open this window and allow them to go out. Okay? It's much easier than to think that we have to do all these things, we have to visualize, we have to be positive. It's much easier to think that these things want to be us. And there's different paths for the future. We have to choose the right rail track and stay on that track, because we can be and we have been in different tracks. And the more we'll be in the track of our soul, intended track, the easier things will be. You will see that you are thinking less, you will be troubled less. Things will start working out for the better. The people that you need to meet, you will actually meet them. Some of you have met me because there are certain things, certain sentences that I say that you're going to capture, memorize, and you're going to do something with them. It's not just that I came here by accident. Nothing happens for accident. Everything is like preordained. We already know. Okay, we're good. The so what? I love this. Something bad happens. So what? Are we going to make a big deal out of it? Do we need to make a big deal of it? Who does it serve that we are putting ourselves in the position of the victim in that thing? So the two words "so what" help us so much time. Time reference method. This is something that of my own invention that works really nice. Because time doesn't really exist, and I know it's hard to understand. And then the future me and the present me and the past me is actually the same energy, it's the same person, you can say. So if I'm doing something right now for his betterment, the future me, he's going to be thankful just like me, the present me, is thankful for the past me, for doing that nice thing, for working out, for being an extra healthy person, for loving. And the same thing with difficulties and negative emotion. And so if somebody broke our heart, if we feel bad about something, how would we feel about it in 2 weeks? Would we feel the same strength of negative energy just like now? How would we feel about it in a month? Can we try to imagine and understand that we are the same person and try to take this energy from the future us in 1 month? The same thing when we manifest. Try to imagine how it works. Try to see yourself as, okay, in 1 month I'm going to be much over this. This is going to be like in the past in some way. It's not going to be so bad. And the same thing, we can imagine our future self and the path he has chosen for the ultimate path that we want. The one with the best job for us, the one that we go travel twice a year, the one that the sun is actually shining much more in Norway. We can imagine that and try to understand that when we all put our visualizations together, then the energy is synergetic and it's much, much stronger. So we have 10 more minutes, or 13 more minutes. Okay, we can do this. There's a 7-step system for manifestation. And whoever wants, I will pass this now. Whoever wants, I will send him this presentation. You should fill up just your email. Can you pass this on? There's an email, there's a name. Whoever wants, he can come tomorrow evening. I will say a few minutes about tomorrow evening when we're doing a 3-hour workshop. I will explain. You write your email, I will send you this, and I will tell you in the future if I'm coming to Norway and doing different workshops. The 7-step system, it sounds like a lot, but it really is not. The first one is what we talked about. For example, say I'm a smoker. I smoke cigarettes. I want to quit smoking cigarettes. I understand that Ray told me that I don't have to go through this process of 3 months. I can just go through something that is much quicker. So the first thing I do, I have my mind, my thoughts, my visualization. I will imagine myself as a non-smoker. How would a non-smoker feel? I would imagine how much money I save for that. I will see myself as a non-smoker, meaning a person that doesn't need to take smoke breaks. It doesn't have to go out of the hotel immediately, smoke, or go in the airport to find those little spots that they put people who smoke now. The second thing is my emotion. I will be excited about this. And this is a combination of the thoughts, the brain, and the emotions. How many years I wanted to stop smoking, and now I'm doing it. And I'm not going to smell from my hand anymore, and I'm going to be healthy, and maybe I'll take up some exercise, because until now I couldn't exercise. It was so difficult for me. And notice how much I'm inventing things on the way, because I'm excited about it. I love myself. I will give the non-smoking visualization for me. It's a love thing. All the emotions together. The third thing is our belief. And this is something that is gradual. In the beginning, when you understand how much control you have over this life and over everything, you start manifesting small things. You manifest a parking space. And you tell your friend, oh, I just thought about you. It's such a coincidence that you called me. Oh, I was thinking about going back to that person, and a week later he called me. What a coincidence. But the more you see that it actually happens very, very often, and we call this synchronicity, the more you believe in your manifestation abilities, and then you can make much bigger steps. My biggest step was breatharianism. Stop eating. And suddenly you understand that things are not working like you thought they were, and there are other bodies that are actually nourishing and feeding you all the time. The fourth is acceptance. You need to accept this new belief. I will accept myself as a non-smoker as if I never smoked. I mean, in the present moment, I'm a non-smoker. And just imagine, some people when they go travel, then they smoke, but they never define themselves as a smoker, so it's much easier for them to quit. But people who decide to define themselves as smokers is the ones that are saying to themselves, but I need a process to stop, or I'm addicted, because society tells me I'm addicted. The physical addiction is only 2 or 3 days. So you need to accept. The fifth is intention, and his intention is a very, very strong energy. We can express intent. We can say, I know that I'm a conscious manifestor in this world. I know that I am a part of the God particle, and as God, I have the ability to create in this planet, to create my life. I'm influencing everything all the time. So in this I will say, I intend to stop smoking, or I am a non-smoker, or I'm living a healthy lifestyle that is without anything that is negative. 6, and this is important, action. You start acting like a non-smoker. It means that you will not go with a lighter in your pocket before you leave, and you will not thinking about stopping in a supermarket to buy cigarettes, and you will start acting like a non-smoker will act, until it defines you. You fake it until you make it. And the last thing is a paradox, and this is where most of us fail. You let go of the result. What does it mean? When we are manifesting, we say, but I believed it, and I had this visualization, and I practiced it, and I told myself 10 minutes before I went to sleep, and I did all these things, so why isn't it working? It's not working because we are always comparing the wanted result with the actual result. And the purpose is, just like in movies, sometimes some people blow things up, so they put a little bomb, and they throw it, and then they walk like really, really cool, They don't look at the explosion, right? I want you to think like that. I know there's a beautiful explosion just behind me, but I know it's there. I don't need to look at it. I know it's going to be there. That's the way it works. Because the thing is that we are failing ourselves. We are our worst enemies and our best friend if we understand that we have this control. And sometimes people come out of these type of workshops and they say to themselves, wow, my thoughts are always manifesting my needs and they're always coming back to me, and what if I think about a disaster? What if I think about everything that I eat, that it's bad for me? What if I think I'm going to have an accident on my motorcycle? It's okay to have a small thought. It's really okay. But you need to let go of all this overthinking and really go into the process of letting go, because letting go will teach us a lot more. So that's the 7-step system. Again, whoever writes, I will send you this, and if you come tomorrow, then we'll discuss it and we'll practice it. Practicing really, materializes the information into us. We understand it much better. We don't have time for this. 2 words about my book. A Year Without Food. This is the new cover. I like it much better than the old cover. Understand what is the energy of prana and how we can live from it. How I became a breatharian and the known ways of becoming a breatharian. And the most important for you is learn how to become a mind master. Meaning there's a lot of tips and tricks that you understand, because we are not the only enemy of ourselves. Society, social standards, and doctors or people that think that they always know, sometimes their energy influences us a lot more. Our parents, what they think about us. So learning mind mastery is how to overcome, get all these tips and tricks, how to become absolutely you. Absolutely you, it means without all these social standards, to be who you were supposed to be when you wrote the contract of your soul, of how you want to be. So because I have only like 10 left, I'll be happy to give them for 150 instead of 200, because I came here with like 30, so it's pretty cool. So tomorrow workshop. It's a 3-hour workshop. This is the address. Sola, Helse Farm, Stagel, Dandav, I don't know this. This is the longest word in Hebrew I ever, there's no word like this in Hebrew. 60. Write it down, take a picture. There's little notes in the purple thing if you want. We're going to do a lot of things. We're going to practice some meditations. We're going to talk a lot about the ability as manifestors. There's a few exercises that really help you understand, because most people, when I ask them, are you happy? Say, sure, I'm happy. But how do you know that you're happy? How does a prisoner know he's in a prison if the prison bars are like completely transparent? How much can we be happy? How much we can fulfill more from life? How much things are bothering us right now and we can't let them go? So we have to understand. And when I ask a person, give me 5 things that are actually making you happy on the day-to-day life, some people don't know what to say. Because we're so much in the tradition of waking up, going to work, going back home, watching a television show, eating dinner, going to sleep. In the weekend we have a day or two that we do some interesting things. We take a yearly, annual, one-time holiday somewhere abroad, and we think this is life. And this might be one life. This is the illusion of a life. There's the whole spiritual evolution of life, the consciousness, the day-to-day appreciation and gratitude for the small things. And all these things are making us really happy. They're bringing us now in the Western world to the level that monks take after 20 years of meditation. And we don't need the 20 years of meditation, because we know it's an illusion, it's a placebo. We know that it's a choice. But our cells are already used to and addicted to our physical state and our mental state. They're used to it. There's a whole biological process I can explain to you tomorrow evening in the workshop that takes place, that the cells are wanting the same type of hormones that we give them. So that, I don't know in here how the bus drivers are, but in Israel it's 2 types of bus drivers. One bus driver is always angry, never polite, never happy. Always like, God, just pay me and go to the back. But sir, I just want to know where to stop. I'm not from here. Just ask somebody else. And the other type of bus driver is really happy and is always smiling. And how do we get from this type of bus driver to the other type of bus driver? There's a whole process that needs to take place. So tomorrow we'll discuss a lot of things, and I will also have a lot more time to answer questions from previous lectures about breatharianism and about manifestation and all those things, because there's a lot to know. We'll also watch a few cool movies that will, like Bashar type of movies that will explain to us a little bit more. How am I doing? I'm good, I have 3 minutes left. Generally, I'm doing a really serious, more spiritual, tough seekers type of workshop in Holland in 2 months. It is the 10-day process to breatharian initiation. And whoever is interested, there's these big flyers here. Just come up and take one of them and contact me. I will talk to you, I will see if you're in the right place, if you can do it, and all that kind of stuff. This is what I call like the ultimate, because once you do this type of thing, you stop eating and drinking there for about 4 days in a group together, and we are teaching manifestation, unconscious and conscious work. And then you really become a manifestor, because you understand your true abilities, because you're breaking scientific laws and everything that you have been taught. And once you do something like that, you have this sort of evidence. It's not like knowing these type of people exist, it's understanding how simple it is to become one of them. And this applies to everything. Economy, friendship, family, everything that you have in your life. Like, you never are the same after this type of thing. And one last thing is that I'm going to come back here to do a 3-day workshop. Tomorrow evening, we'll see how many people are joining. If more than 15 people will want, then I will actually make the flight. If we don't make 15, 20 people, then I'm probably not going to come. It has to be in these days, because it means I will come from Holland directly to here. Now 3 days, we're going to do 3 days on juice, just juice fasting you can call it. During that time, we have a lot of workshops, okay? We call it an awakening workshop, because my purpose here as a breatharian master is to balance the 4 bodies and to wake us up a little bit to our true abilities and connect us with our true selves. And once we are connected with our true selves, just like I said, things start flowing just like a wood in the river. Everything becomes much easier for you. And that's it. Thank you very much for listening. Wow, it's amazing. Exactly 15 minutes. I like it.